Să rămână bună ziua, salut, bine ați venit. Hello, we'll do this interview in English. My guest today, JAQUELINE Cristian, welcome to Cluj, and your coach, Thomas Drouet, welcome to Cluj, welcome to Sports Festival.
Thank you.
How are you? How do you feel?
I'm good. Feeling better. I'm happy to be here.
I will ask you if you want to please tell us a little bit more about your injury this year, because this event changed your whole life and your whole perspective of this year. So, how did it happen?
I was on the court during the match. It happened in Doha during my match, so it was not an easy moment. I was even leading during the match, and I was playing really well in that time. And I didn't know what was going on. I tried to, after the first time that I hit myself, basically, I didn't know what was going on. So that's why I tried the second time. I got up, and I said, I want to try, keep playing. And then I realized that it's something really bad. So we had to stop the match, and I left the court in a wheelchair. And we had to go basically to hospital, do MRIs and investigations. And the next day I flew home, and the next day I had the surgery. It was a pretty bad one. I broke my ACL, and also the meniscus was affected. So after the surgery, I had to basically do a lot of rehab every day, strengthen my leg, take it very easy. I was in crutches for 1 month. I couldn't put my leg down for, I could put it down, but just 30% of my weight. And then I had to take it easy to...
We'll get there, but before that, I want to ask you, your career was going higher and higher before that moment. Last year it literally exploded, and I want to ask you both, how did it happen last year? Because I think it has to do with your meeting with Coach Drouet.
I go? So when I started working with him...
how did you two meet?
You know, it's a small world, so we know each other on the tour already during the season, and I knew exactly who she was. But then we met during a tournament in Bastad, and I was in the gym, and we started to talk together. And at that time, I was not really working with a player. You know, I was just helping a player for a few weeks. And she asked me, "Can we have a talk tonight?" So we met at the reception of the hotel. And I saw that girl arriving to me, and I felt the determination, you know. And this is how, a few weeks after, we really started to work together.
I wanted to ask you this because by reading your life, your resume and your career, it gave me this impression that you are very resilient because you had this patience for years and years. And I'm referring to the fact that at 14 years old, you are literally number one in the world. And that comes with a lot of expectations and hopes and projections and so on and so on. What happened after that with your career?
Injuries happen. Nothing as serious as this one, no surgery or anything. But it was about injuries and the fact that I think I was not really doing the right things, and the transition from juniors to pros was really, really tough.
What are the right things to do?
Training, the way I was training, the way I was...
and I'm also curious to hear about it from your coach. What are the right things to do? And think about this interview being listened by some parents and by some young players. What are the right and the bad things to do when you are at that limbo between juniorship and seniorship.
So when you were talking that she was number one at 14 years old, so it's like in every story there is a good part and a bad part in this moment. So when you have a lot of success young, it doesn't mean that you're gonna you're gonna break through later, you know, because when you are young, many players, they are not already, maybe they don't practice the same amount of time. Maybe she was already training like a pro while some other kids are still going to school, you know, so that's also a thing. And some players that I knew or I met also, they made this little mistake, like I'm number one junior, okay, I start 16, 17, and it's okay, I made it. But no, you are playing juniors, you are not playing with the adults. Okay,
So the ceiling comes down.
Exactly, and then when you see, no, adults, it's another world again. And the one, as she said, she was not doing the right thing, and I think she's right. And it's about the work. You have to increase the quantity of your work. You have to become stronger, faster. It's another level. It's not because you are number one in junior that for sure you're gonna break through after. If we look at the percentage, many players who were good junior make the transition to the pro, but they are the ones who kept doing the right things.
It means that you also have to change the people you are training with.
This is also the topic that I wanted to touch. It's about the guidance that you get. And I really think that at that time you need someone with experience, like someone that's been there at least one time with another player and knows how to guide you through all this journey from juniors to seniors, you know, because you have to change many things, you have to adapt to many things, like new things that you don't know, and I think you need the right guidance. And this with me was a bit tricky in that time because for around 2 years I didn't really have a coach. I was training in the Academy of Boletieri, but I was traveling with a fitness coach or my mom because I didn't have the right coach by my side. I was just searching and searching, and yeah, I mean, this plus the injuries plus the pressure and the fact that I was a good junior and I was not making it, and I guess also like motivation, lack of motivation, and
It's also a money thing.
also money thing. It was because to get a right coach, you really have to like invest. And at that time, no one told me something like that, like, or my parents. And my parents were already making like a lot of sacrifices for me to play. And so, for example, I was traveling with my mom. We couldn't afford a coach. Or if I was traveling with a coach, then it was just like me with him, like alone, and my mom. And, I mean, even me, I was. I didn't.
What would you advise at that age regarding the family's involvement? To back off, or it depends on the player?
No. The family is very important in the environment of the players because it gives the stability. Okay, just that there is one point that when you choose your coach or this, everyone must have like their own space. There is the mom, there is the dad, there is the coach, there is the boyfriend. If everyone stays at his place, then we create like a positive energy, a good circle around, a good bubble around the player, and it helps her to grow. And sometimes we mustn't forget that we have a good example with her parents. They invest since she's 12 years old. So they spent already 500,000 euros while she didn't get any money. You know, when you come from countries where you don't have help. Okay, I'm from France, so we have luck that the federation is helping a lot the players, but I work with some players that the federation, or they didn't have sponsors, they didn't have anyone. So can you imagine the parents, the pressure they have? So when you see that your daughter is growing up and improving also, sometimes it's tough to, okay, I give it to that coach now, I let him do the job, because we mustn't forget
it's my investment.
They are there from the beginning. I'm a dad also, my son is playing tennis, and it starts to cost, you know?
And we see this with a lot of players that are still connected in a bad way with their parents at 20-something.
So I understand the first part of the career where the parents are still present when she didn't make it yet or she didn't earn enough money to, let's say, be safe, you know. But after a while, as a parent and also as a coach, we must have the humility to say, okay, I reached my limit. Okay, now we need to bring someone else, maybe just for a few months to take new hair in the team and new advice. I reached my limit. I feel that she cannot go further. So, okay, she changed coach, or me as a dad, or I step back a bit. You know, if I'm coaching my son and I see that he's not improving, I'm not going to tell him, you are going to make it with me, or then you won't make it.
But this requires a lot of wisdom to know when to step back.
Yeah.
And
But that's also a human quality that you need to work in this world.
so, Jacqueline, please try to put yourself in that mind some years ago. What kept you going despite injuries, despite not having the enough amount of money? What was the drive?
I mean, I was doing what I wanted, you know. I wanted to play tennis. I always wanted to make it in tennis. I love tennis since I was very young. So this was enough for me to keep going no matter the injuries. Plus, I always had people around me that were telling me that you're going to make it. Like, one day for sure you're going to make it. And, like, the support that I had was also very important. And the fact that I was a good junior never let me, like, think that I cannot make it. I knew the road was tough. I knew I had to do changes, but I think I had to go through some lessons that got me in the day where, for example, I spoke to Thomas for the first time. So I guess now going through that experience of a couple of years, it helped me when I started working with someone like Thomas.
Were there any moments when you thought, I'm at this bloody ITF tournament, what am I doing here? I have to stop this?
Yes, there were many. There were many. Plus the injuries also, they were coming, and I was like, not again, and I have to do again like rehab and wait, and then I was going in tournaments, I was feeling really good, but then I was losing to someone that, for example, I was not supposed to lose, or that, you know. So there were, but I think this is part of the journey. I think everyone goes through this.
I want to insist on this topic because it seems to me very interesting. You have 10 ITF titles. That means you have to do a lot of struggle and a lot of patience to walk this, let's say, lower rank of the tennis world.
Yeah.
And then to wait, my moment will come, I am good at this, I have to do this. What's the mindset in this time?
I mean, I think you have to trust the process and just be patient with yourself. And I don't know, I'm the type that never gives up. So that kept me going.
And also, what I know Jacqueline for 1 year now, we work together for 1 year, and she's the kind of player who needs to prove to herself. So she started to win some good matches in ITF. For example, she beat a girl who is 80, 90, and then she went on WTA and she started to lose, let's say, in the 3 setters to a girl who is 60, and she was like, oh, it's not, the mountain is not that big. And this is how she started to believe more and more, and arriving at the end, she beat the number 13 in the world in Doha.
11.
11, so
Yes.
even better. And the day where she was beating 20, the girl was 23 in the world. So, you know, she went to those little steps, that playing those ranking, those matches on the bigger court in a bigger tournament, because we have this thing in tennis that the top 100 barrier is something crazy, like, you know,
It's
top
like
100.
more than a mind barrier.
What I was telling her is, do you think that the girl 80 is playing better than the girl 120? It's the same. It's just here you create like something huge, which is not, and you will see. This is one of the first thing I was telling her. There is not a big difference between, when we started, she was like 160. Okay? So I tell her, if you do the right thing, the discipline, she likes this word. That's the thing I put in our work is the discipline, the daily discipline.
That
on
was my
everything.
next question. What did Monsieur Drouet change in your mindset, in your preparation, in your life?
Yeah, when he came, like the first thing was the discipline. He was always telling me about you have to be disciplined on and off the court. So this was something that I had to learn and to accept, and I had to accept the fact that I was not doing everything right, and to try to do better even off the court. Like I'm talking now, I don't know.
Give us an example.
Yeah, I'm talking now about the food. For example, I was eating whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and I didn't give that much importance to the food. But he taught me that food is really one main thing in an athlete's, yeah, it's the fuel, what you give to your body. So I learned it. I mean, it was tough, but I experienced on myself during the matches how I was feeling after I was eating what he was telling me to eat, and how I was feeling after I was eating on my own.
Like, for example, she had only 2 meals per day because of, I can say
Different influential.
Different.
So-
I like to eat sweets, basically.
So to avoid to put on weight, she was only having 2 meals per day. But I tell her, imagine we practice, because this is what we do in a normal week of practice. We do 6 to 7 hours of practice during the day, starting from the warm-up to the recovery. Okay, it's not only playing tennis. Practice for me, it's from warm-up to recovery. Okay, and I told her, do you imagine if you eat bad, if you sleep too late, on a full week of practice, so more than 30 hours of practice during the week, do you think your body will survive? So I show her the way, and then I say, okay, now let's practice for real. Like I show you what's the real practice. And after 2-3 days, you could see that she started the Monday with good energy, and then like this.
A naive question. Is it possible to achieve great performance in tennis without the coach being day by day next to you?
I don't think so. Since I met him, I feel like I need him all the time, basically. If I feel like I want to do something, first, like, I ask him. So I think you need this guidance, or at least someone like me needs it, because I need this like connection in between the player and the coach, and I need to have this with my coach to be like open, you know, and to always tell him how I feel and what I feel about this, I don't know, exercises or going there or doing that, you know, like, I don't know, like random things, you know. But I need to ask, and I need this communication.
Do you know how many weeks per year do we spend together?
I can guess.
Tell me.
50?
40. So I spend more time with Jacqueline than with my son and my family. So during those 40 weeks, I mean, we create also a link. You know, tennis is an individual sport. I am her only confidant. I am the one who train her, who stretch her, but I'm also the one she can talk to. There is also this psychological part in the job that is very important.
Maybe the most.
Exactly. When she's facing victories, and we are in Australia, it's sunny, it's beautiful, it's perfect. Okay, that's easy. But when she starts to lose, and she is alone in the hotel room, you know, we have to go through this month. And imagine if she's alone in those moments. No, I am the one who is telling her, okay, you lost. Tomorrow, let's go practice in the morning. It happened to her just before Doha. She had a tough period, and we did 1 week of full intense practice in Dubai, and she arrived in Doha. She was fully ready to compete again, and she had the down moments. So can you imagine in this moment if she's just alone? I don't think alone, but this is normal. It's not her. That she would kick her, you know, to go to practice. No. I mean, every sport has coaches. I don't want to be like a guru, but if there is this job, it's for a reason.
Can you tell us a little bit about this last year when everything went up, everything exploded? St. Petersburg, then Cluj, then Linz.
It started before. Sorry.
Yeah, please.
I didn't know you in St. Petersburg, so that was a first really good victory that I had over Ostapenko. I did quarters for the first time in my life. I did quarters in a WTA.
What did you think at that time?
I mean, I was very confident and happy about my level, but I still felt like there was much more to learn, and I had many things to improve. And I told myself, like, if I'm here in quarters now without playing how I want to play and feeling that I'm not there yet, that means there is a lot of potential like inside me, and I just have to find it and use it in the right way, you know. And then when I met him, everything like started to click after the way I was working. So tournament by tournament, week by week, I felt like I was growing, I was improving, I was learning many things about myself, about the tour and how it is to really be like a professional player, you know. And being at that level, even though I was in qualies of the bigger tournaments, you know, I was hungry for more. I wanted to prove that I can do it too. So I didn't feel like, oh my God, it's a huge step, you know, because I was not aware of what I was doing. I was just listening to him, listening to my instinct, you know. And then at the end of the season, when I said like, okay, where are we now? I was like, okay, I did pretty well we did pretty well in the last month. But you don't really realize it. You don't really have time to realize it, because you're in a tournament week by week, or I mean, you don't have much time to think. You're just thinking about the next match and how you can do better. And then at the end, you see like, oh, okay, it's going well. Let's keep going.
Coach, let's suppose Jacqueline is not here for some seconds, and I'll confess you one feeling by watching her last year at Cluj, at Transylvania Open. And my feeling as a tennis spectator was she's always on the edge. You don't know, she'll win, she'll lose. I mean, she shows her emotions, and that is maybe one thing that is to be corrected, to be deal with. What's your take on this?
I'm trying to understand the question, because in which way she shows her emotion?
I mean, she's, you can see in her soul when she's playing. And I don't think that is always a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, she shows if she's angry, she shows if she's happy, she shows if she's frustrated, and she has to learn not to show it, in my opinion, sometimes.
Of course, you are right. There is always part for improvement. And with Jacqueline, one of the first things we worked on is this mental aspect. Because when I started to play with her, she didn't show any emotion, but she couldn't play. When was an important moment, she was like this, and she couldn't finish.
So it's the other way that I thought.
When I started to work with her, she was on a strike that she was losing in 3 sets, that she had match point, or she was leading 5-1 and she was losing matches. So her level of confidence was there. Okay, so it's not bad to let go your emotions,
Okay.
if she controls them. It's better to let go or to scream and then refocus. Because even if she shows sometimes the emotion, she doesn't lose the string. You know, she's still there behind. And there are many players like this. For example, Kyrgios or some guy. Okay, maybe it's extreme, but
And she's that kind of player.
Until she keeps the line, you know, that she doesn't lose the focus, that she doesn't go out of the match. For me, there is no problem to sometimes.
Okay.
She's not a robot. I cannot ask her, close your mouth and just play. Everyone has his own identity. And that was also one of the things that I told her. Find your identity. Which player are you? What kind of game do you like? You know, what makes you vibrating on the court? And I think she found it.
You didn't hear us. What's your opinion on this? About showing emotions on court?
I mean, even when I was looking at the higher ranked players, you know, the top ones, the one that I was trying to learn from, you can see when they're angry, you can see when they're in confidence, you can see when they feel good the ball and they don't care about like missing, and then you can see when they're frustrated. So I never felt like I was doing something wrong by screaming, for example, or like throwing one racket out of nowhere, because I feel like I need to let go of that emotion so that goes, and then I can refocus on the next point. If I keep it inside, then I become really frustrated with myself, and the tennis just, it's not there anymore because everything happens in my mind and I don't care about like the court. So I think it's better to express yourself, of course, in a limit, but as long as you're doing in a positive way, I think that helps a lot. At least me, it helps me a lot.
I want to ask you both to go back at this year's most important and tragic event, the injury. I read that you assisted for 4 years at your surgery and you looked at every detail to learn and understand what's happening with your body.
Yes, I wanted to see what was inside there. I wanted to understand why it happened. I wanted to get confidence on what the doctor was doing there, because then I said, like, when I'm gonna use my leg, I will know the base of it and that I can trust him, like my leg.
But what seemed to me much more interesting were the days after the surgery, when you were literally collapsing and feeling awful and so on.
Yes.
What
because,
did you do, you both,
I mean, me,
at that time?
last time I saw her, I was with her in Doha at the hospital and that, and then when we flew, I flew with her to Bucharest. I saw all the doctors with her, but then when she had surgery, I went back to Monaco and she stayed here. So we were just in every single day in contact, trying to send her as much as support as I could do and help her in this situation. But yeah, it was not easy, I know.
What was the doctor's prospect regarding your leg?
Everyone around me was very positive from the doctor himself. He said, you just need to be patient. You really need to do a good rehab, because the rehab is as important as the surgery. And I knew that the road is going to be long and difficult, like with a lot of pain, but I knew that if I'm going to get through it, it's going to make me stronger. And I'm normally not a patient person, but this really taught me that there is some patience inside me and I can use it. And
Maybe that was the necessary lesson.
Yeah, maybe. But otherwise, everyone was positive around me. Like from Thomas through texts to my doctor, I said, like, even like my family was around me, everyone, like friends. I've always had like a good energy around me. And even in the bad moments where, for example, I couldn't wake up from the bed, or I couldn't go alone in the bathroom because I was with crutches and everything, I kept going because I knew it's just a phase that I need to get through. So, and also like hearing the doctor and the guy that I was doing the rehab with, and they were basically showing me every single time that I can trust my leg because everything is right there, and it's a lot of it's mental, because you feel like you cannot do much with it, but you can.
Can we say that in a way the leg is stronger now?
Yes, for sure it's stronger from the surgery, because I have a fake ligament kind of inside. So the surgery that I had, it's a hybrid surgery. I have a fake ligament, but I also have my ligament that's covering the fake one. So that one is not stiff, and my body accepts it better and faster. So the fake ligament is 2 times stronger than the human ligament, basically. So technically it is stronger, but I still got a lot of work to do for the muscle part, because there are still some muscles that are not 100%. So that's why I cannot fly right now on the court. You know, I just started like moving a little bit from side to side, but slowly. I cannot do many things still, like lateral jumps, or for example, for 4 months, I'm not allowed to go lower on a squat, like lower than 90 degrees, because of the meniscus. Because you have to take care of the meniscus more than the ligament, because it's more sensible. So
what I believe in this sad story, because she was climbing like this, she learned a lot, and she will be stronger when she will start again playing. Because now, in this disaster, we have the luck, is not now, we are 3 months away from US Open. That will be her first tournament to start again.
Speaking now, it's a realistic perspective to play US Open,
yes.
We have 3 months. And that's my
but
responsibility.
not before.
No, because she froze her ranking, and when you froze your ranking, so it means that she will have the ranking before she got injured, so 60 something in the world.
65.
65. But she's not allowed to play any tournament before 25th or 26th August, and US Open start 27. Okay?
But I'm thinking that US Open is on, how do you call it?
Hard.
Hard, yes.
We are practicing on hard already.
Okay.
So now we are preparing for US Open. And in tennis, we never have this time, this big gap, 3 months to prepare one event. Usually we play week by week, and we try to do the best of it. If she played semi-final or if she lost first round, we constantly have to adapt the schedule. Now it's so easy for me to plan the week. Monday is like this, Tuesday, and I have three months like this, and
you train in Bucharest?
Yes.
Okay.
And I really want her to become stronger physically, and to use those 3 months, this opportunity. It's an opportunity to become even stronger. And I know that mentally, she realized also many things. She digests also the fact how she became that good. She had the time to think and to make the resume in her head. And I think like this, we will win a lot of time when she will start to play again. Especially during the matches, the mechanical the mechanism she started to have in her mind about the tactics, about the plan, when it's an important point, what do I have to do to minimize the risk, but to optimize the results, the benefits. And she learned a lot about this.
Thank you both.
Thanks
It was
to you.
a
Thank you.
great talk, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
That you
Mulțumesc.
mulțumim, that you climb up the rankings and become
Better than before.
much better and fulfill your dream.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both.